Hi, Joe Muldowney, and welcome to another edition of Running Shorts. If you ever wondered whether it's better to run by yourself or to run with a group of runners, stay tuned. We're going to answer that question here today. So Running Shorts, of course, is a series of videos that we're going to keep putting out here on my YouTube channel where we're going to help you become a better runner. I will offer you some advice and some tips based on my 40-some years of running. So here we are on this beautiful South Carolina day, and of course, if you like this video, please hit that like button. If you want to subscribe to the channel and receive these videos every week, hit that subscribe button. And also, of course, if you'd like to share this with somebody, share this video with somebody, hit the share button. We got all that taken care of now, and we're going to get right down to it. Here we are, as I said, outdoors today. It's 80-some degrees. Got my run out of the way this morning. When it gets to be 80 degrees or above, you want to get that run finished, completed before it's too hot, before that dew point gets too high. And we're going to talk about that in a future video as we get closer to that summertime season. First off, I hope you got a chance to see some of the Boston Marathon on Monday. It's an incredible event. Again, they estimated there were about 30,000 runners in this year's event. Dominated, of course, on both sides by the East African runners, who are just really incredible, the best runners on the planet by far. And again, if you're out there running and you realize if you're running a 10-minute or 9-minute, 8, 7, 6-minute mile, and some of these runners, both men and women, were throwing in sub 5-minute times, sub 5-minute miles in the latter part of that race. 19, 20, 21, 24 miles. That's just incredible. It's just hard to believe. And one more thing that I really found great about the marathon. The announcers were excellent. They were runners themselves, and they were good. And the gentleman announcer, can't think of his name, but he was talking about baseball and how they're trying to shorten up the baseball games and to not have marathon baseball games. And he just said, look, a marathon, you're out working. You're out working for these folks from low 2 hours up to 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. That's a real marathon, not a baseball game. Not disparaging baseball, great sport, but this is just a very unique sport. I feel pretty qualified to get into today's topic, and that is running by yourself or running with a group. Which is better? Which is preferable? I wish I could give you a definitive answer, but really, if you're running, both are great. Running by yourself, running with another runner or a group of runners, there are advantages, maybe some disadvantages to both. All right, so I feel uniquely qualified because most of my running life, I was a social runner. I just looked forward. We would meet every day at the stump. It was an old tree stump. I'm gonna meet you at the stump at 4 o'clock, and we were there pretty much religiously on weekdays and earlier on weekends for the most part. And there could be 2 of us, there could be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of us would meet at the stump. And it was great. And when we wouldn't meet at the stump, we would meet at the track, which was only about a half mile away from my former residence. And we would do our track workouts. Track workouts, I will say, it is really beneficial if you don't have to do those by yourself, because they're brutal. They're difficult, and they're easy to quit on. But you got somebody else out there with you, that makes you a little bit more accountable. I liked running in a group during most of my running years because, I guess, a selfish aspect of it, it made me a better runner. And hopefully it made the members of my group better runners as well by running with me. I was fortunate enough that I ran with a gentleman who turned in a 2:17 marathon. He was faster than I was, so he was the rabbit, and I was chasing him. A couple other runners were around my same speed, and then a couple of the runners were slower than I. That's perfect. That's perfect. Because if you can run with a rabbit, somebody who's a little faster than you, it's going to make you faster. If you were running with slower runners, again, we are runners and we are generally pretty competitive. So you kind of don't want those runners to catch you that day. And maybe if you're having a bad day, bad training day, maybe you will be caught and maybe they will be a block ahead of you or 100 yards ahead of you at the end of the run. And that's a good thing. So if you can, and also I think the other thing has to be that, particularly in races, some of my best friends to this day are folks that I competed against. And particularly in races, when that gun goes off, you're no longer friends. You're competitors. And you're out to win. You're out to beat that other person. Even in workouts, there's kind of a, you want to get out there and you want to sort of prove yourself almost every workout. Now, you don't want to do that every day because you do want to take your rest days in there as well. But for the most part, if you have other runners around you, particularly, as I said, for those difficult workouts, those track workouts, or what if you're training for a marathon and you're doing an 18 or 20 or 22 mile run? Man, if you have somebody out there running it with you, it just makes it so much easier. Somebody else is kind of sharing that pain. So those are some, what I see as just excellent reasons why you should have perhaps a training partner or several training partners. And we were very integrated in the sense that we had some excellent women runners that ran with us as well. So it was men and women, and again, we all know that there are some very fast women runners out there. So you got some women to run with you, or vice versa, some of you ladies have men to run with you. It's a great thing. Again, you are making each other better, and you are holding each other accountable. 4 o'clock at the stump. Oh, I don't feel good today. It's a hot day or whatever. But wait, they're going to be waiting for me at the stump. You get out there and do it. Whereas perhaps by yourself, there's a lot of things that can come up in life that are going to give you any kind of excuse to say, I just don't want to do it today. I'll do it tomorrow. So running with a group makes you accountable. How about running by yourself? Again, some of you, for whatever circumstance, may not be able to run with another person, and that's still okay. Because this is a weird sport. You may not be accountable to another person, but you're still accountable to you. So, again, you can't cheat in this sport. If you miss workouts, you're just not going to race as well. It's just, you're not. You're just not going to be able to race as well. So you're not going to be able to fake it. So be accountable to yourself. Now, in this latter phase of my running career, with a brand new knee, I don't really want to run with anybody else. First of all, I'm a lot slower, so I don't want to be, I don't want to have anybody drag me along, and I don't want to kind of be humiliated by being so far back. And again, I'm, retired from my regular job, and I can kind of run whenever I want. So if I want to go out at 6 in the morning, or if I want to go out at 8 at night, I don't want to encumber anybody by saying I'm going to be there at a certain time. So There is a certain kind of, I guess, freedom, you could say, to running by yourself. And once again, it is good to run with other folks, but you are accountable to you, and basically, your partner is this guy right here, your watch, and the time that you're going to run. Again, those interval workouts, those workouts on the track, those long runs, they're tough by yourself. But gosh, integrate everything. We've got all this great technology today. Listen to a podcast, listen to some music. You run those intervals, listen to something, hard driving that's gonna kind of get those legs moving faster. So you can run by yourself. It's okay to run by yourself. As I said, there's a certain freedom to it. Family obligations may require you to run by yourself. So don't worry about it. That's fine. You have many clubs out there. Here in Myrtle Beach, we have a great running club, the Grand Strand Running Club, and they have various runs in various parts of the Grand Strand and different times, morning runs, afternoon or evening runs. Joining a club is very good. I've coached a runner who lives out in Seattle. She was running very, very well. She joined the club. She's running even faster. So I guess my advice as far as running alone or running with a group, it's entirely up to you. Or do a hybrid. Do some of each. Maybe join people every Saturday and run with them if you can, when generally people do their longer runs. Or run by yourself if your job or your family obligations require you to do so. And again, like I said, you can kind of mesh these together and hybrid these together. But the important thing, whether you run alone or whether you run with a group, is you need to run. You will only become a better runner if you run. And we're going to drill down in the next couple of weeks those specifics, how you can become a better runner and what things you need to do to become a better runner. But I'll give you a little teaser on that to begin with. You need to run. As I think I said in a previous video, yes, you can supplement your running with cycling, swimming, even walking. But if your goal is to become a faster runner, if your goal is to bring that 5K time down, bring the half marathon time down, perhaps eventually a marathon, there are no shortcuts. You've got to run. And you've got to run a certain number of days a week, and you've got to commit to it. So whether you run with a group or run by yourself, it really doesn't matter. As long as you're out there doing it, that's the important thing. Do what's best for you, do what fits into your schedule, but as long as you do it, you're going to be happy and you'll be satisfied and you will achieve those goals that you set. Joe Muldowney, I will join you again for another edition of Running Shorts. Get out there and run. Encourage your friends to run. It's a great sport. See you next time.